workbook links. You can either click break all to break all of them, or find the one you're looking for here. Click on the ellipsis, click break link, then click on break links. And that's it. Thanks for watching.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another True North Studio production. I am Hayden Phaser King, joined on the desk tonight by Evan, not really Evan Johnson. Evan, how are you doing, my friend?
Doing pretty good. I think it's going to be another good game for Storm Surge. I mean, we had quite the game last Thursday, the longest game we've had on stream so far, a double OT thriller on Inferno that unfortunately didn't go Storm Surge's way, but that's okay. We take those, we move on from here. I mean, I guess a little bit of bad news from that, though, is that loss basically brings them out of playoff contention, and we're left to ask, what now?
Yeah, there is definitely some questions to ask about this. This kind of end of season transition. What's going to happen? We know that this was going to be kind of a long term project that the boys were going to look to kind of form and kind of build up over time. But in terms of the near future, I mean, just yesterday we had the announcement of the Crossfire Season 4 groups, and we know Storm Surge is going to participate in that. Their group consists of themselves, Regain, Empire, and Holly Molly. Or Holy Moly, Holly Molly. I assume it's Holly Molly. Two teams that are pretty high in the advanced division, and Regain and Empire, 11th and 10th themselves, and Holly Molly, unfortunately, in 3-7 right now in the advanced division. They're probably going to drop down into that main division. So some tougher competition in that group, Evan. But honestly, they should be looking forward to those games to kind of like sharpen the knife, I guess you could say.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to say it. I think holy moly was my reaction when I saw the groups get announced. And yeah, it's definitely a very tough group. I mean, Regain has had a lot of success, especially in previous Crossfire seasons. They're going to be a team to definitely watch for until the end. Empire as well, doing very well in advanced. This is a very tough group, but it also provides the team with a very good opportunity to play against more elite talent and
Yeah.
just try and get some more reps. And speaking of elite talent, we definitely saw a lot on display last Thursday. We mentioned it at the start of the show. This was just an absolute barn burner, a war of attrition on Inferno. This one absolutely went the distance and then some. A lot of heroic plays coming through from Storm Surge, just not enough gas to get it done in the end.
Yeah, I think they kind of got off to a little bit of a slow start. We can see here 4-2 kind of early on in the game. It felt like they didn't really click until maybe around 8, maybe around 9, just before that kind of halftime click. And you know what? Credit to them for being down pretty heavily. Here it is in round 11. That was a crazy double by 2 Chainz right there to kind of bring that um, to, I believe it was 8-4 at that point. And then, like we could see here, they bring it back, and not too quickly after that, we were both working on that prod. You were casting, of course. I was behind the scenes, and we were kind of believing that this was doable here, especially after this play in the smoke. This was insane.
Yeah,
This was seriously insane.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody just blind fire into a smoke and get three separate players planting in like one like session. I mean, that was crazy. And so was that timing. They were going to get a
Yeah,
couple instances of crazy timing in this game that, like you said, just unfortunately didn't go the way of Storm Surge. We saw it earlier. I think one of the big struggles was whenever they were executing onto the A site, they just weren't able to clear out pit properly, and that really let the James Bond boys just kind of do whatever they wanted on that site. And there's another example of really bad timing. Conzi just looking away at the absolute perfect time to let 2 Chainz slip behind him. And I remember in the moment, I had said, I really hope this doesn't come back to bite them. And sure enough, it was 2 Chainz. Because he was able to slip through the defense, he was able to stay alive. He gets a big double kill late in the round. James Bond boys get to plant. They end up winning the round. And like we're seeing here, just more unfortunate timing going the way of the James Bond boys and leading them to find that round bump to let them take the round, or the game, I should say, in overtime. So it's just things like that that just started to add up over time. And bad luck, yes, maybe just not planned execution on one hand. You can kind of argue it both ways, but at the end of the day, Storm Surge just not able to get it done, and just
it's time to move
lose their
on.
playoff spot right after that. Yeah, just had to move on. But
I
definitely a lot of things to improve.
Yeah, I think some of those rounds just unfortunately did come down to a little bit of poor timing, or not necessarily poor timing, but unlucky timing. That's the right word, is unlucky timing. And one kill goes the other way. You never know what could happen, but you can't think about it too much. It's a brand new week, a brand new chance at some wins here to kind of round off the season. Tonight, going up against Yogaball Frags. Yogaball consisting of Bob's Boosted, Devin Jones, Tyrant, Hyper Al, and Howdy. I mean, these are some good players in their own right. I think that it's not going to be an easy game for Storm Surge. I don't think anything at this point in the season is going to be considered easy, especially tonight, as we can officially confirm that Punisher is going to be out of the lineup tonight, and Ramen, the coach, is going to step in for him, at least for this match. We'll have to see in the future what that is going to look like. But yeah, Ramen's going to step in, and we've seen Punisher make play after play all season. It's going to be interesting to see how Ramen can step up tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Punisher has had a very solid season of main. A little bit of a quieter game last week. It was really Cubed and Kanzi were sort of leading the way in terms of, making an impact, but Punisher has been sort of that solid, reliable guy, and he's able to get it done in any situation. And not, saying Ramen isn't able to perform at that level. We just don't have the sample size of how it looks with, him in the main roster. And it's definitely going to be a tough challenge. Like you said, these guys on the Yoga Ball Frags, been a slow start to their season, but they've been getting hot at the right time, and they are fighting for a playoff spot right now. So this is going to be a team that's going to be hungry to get into a win. And right off the rip, I'm looking at Tyrant. Like that's almost a top 500 NA player. Howdy has been performing very, very well for the Yoga Ball Frags. We're talking about an 83% entry frag success in their previous game. This is a guy who's going to get in there very aggressively. He's not afraid to rip it, and he's been very successful. So this is an area that Storm Surge sometimes struggle with, is finding these entries or like falling to these entries right away. So definitely is going to be something they're going to have to keep an eye on for tonight's game.
Yeah, I watched just a tiny bit of that demo last game between Yoga Ball and I believe it was God Complex that they played in that 19-17 win on Inferno, and he looked pretty impressive. They're going to want to lean on some guys like Kanzi tonight to kind of lead the way, along with Cubed as well. They're kind of two solid rocks that they've had all season. But Evan, it's time. You know what it is. Time to talk about some maps. We're partnered over with our friends at Counter-Strike. You and me, we took a look to see what we could be heading into tonight, and we kind of came up with, I think it's going to be, we thought it was going to be between two options, Inferno or Ancient. And I think myself, I'm leaning a bit more towards Ancient. I think maybe these teams want to get away from Inferno after a long, gruesome game on Thursday. But what are you thinking, buddy?
I agree with that, but I'm kind of leaning the other way. I think both teams are going to want to get one back. They, despite the fact that it was a very long game, obviously the Yoga Ball Frags came out on top of it, on the other side, and Storm Surge, they were just so close to getting it. All things considered, a very, very strong map from the side of Storm Surge. We know exactly how they like to play it, and maybe it is just playing a more comfortable map to try and get back on track, or maybe a change of pace is on tap for tonight, but it always feels like it comes down to either Inferno or Ancient. Seems like we've seen so much of either of these two maps, but it makes sense based on the vetoes for both teams, and I think the time has come to see where exactly is it going to be, Inferno or Ancient. It's Ancient. We're right once again. A change of scenery, definitely in the cards. I also don't hate this play. We've seen some decent play from Storm Surge on Ancient, but when you take a look at the Yoga Ball Frags, they definitely have their own sort of lineup and executions that they like to run.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we can take a look. We've got our kind of CT-sided player tendencies for Yoga Ball, and we can look kind of going down player by player. Devin Jones likes to be a little bit more of your mid player on the CT side. Tyrant likes to hold that kind of A long, that backside of B site. Hyper Owl is your Cave and Jaguar player. Howday is primarily on A, but he kind of goes wherever he really needs to. And Bob's Boosted is also that A player that kind of flexes over to the mid if Devin Jones might need a little bit of assistance holding that pressure point that we always highlight on Ancient. I mean, those are kind of standard positions for a lot of these main teams, a lot of these upper echelon teams. So it'd be kind of interesting to see how Storm Surge can rattle them, I guess you could say, and make them really think about how they're playing and kind of how they can disrupt that defense.
Well, it's going to be a lot of pressure on Desolation because, like you talked about, mid is such an important juncture in Ancient, and that is going to be the main op spot. So, depending on which side Storm Surge starts on, it is going to be dependent on how Desolation can hold that, that Red Room side with the op, if they get their econ, really firing early, that could be a difference maker as we get into either the earlier or the later stages of this game. And then the rotations as well. Ancient could be a map where it definitely can take a while to get a rotation set. There are these really long, alleys to get back into a site. So the CT side, I think, is what I'm really looking for. It has to be clean tonight, and definitely has to be better than the CT side we saw in Inferno last time, because that was really where Storm Surge started to struggle, especially in the beginner parts of that game.
Yeah, I think it's important, I think, to really like obviously the T's are going to set the pace, right? We know that. They're the ones trying to attack the sites, but it's important that you use your utility effective on Ancient, especially with kind of these close quarters kind of choke points. We know A ramp and cave can be those kind of points where teams may get a little hesitant to come out of if it's not set up properly. So it'll be interesting to see how the utility is placed on the CT side, how the rotations, like you said, are going to get called in. When do they get called in, and what kind of routes they take? I mean, we know that the kind of mid boost area up towards Jaguar is definitely your common point of rotation, but it can be risky. If someone is holding Jaguar pretty closely, they'll be able to hear them coming out of Donut basically, and that kind of gives away a little bit of that retake pressure that the CTs might be trying to provide. And on the T side, it's all about really finding a default that you're very comfortable with, right? Finding a way to give up or take space through the mid and decide from that point, okay, we're going to rotate through Donut, we're going to go up through Jaguar into cave. It'll be kind of interesting. We haven't seen a true. I mean, who did they play? Was it the 27th State? Was it on Ancient that they kind of
Yes.
steamrolled? And
Yes, I believe
then
so.
they struggled a little. They struggled pretty hard against Ritz on Ancient as well. It was really like a 180 flip. So it'd be kind of interesting to see how they go into this one after having such great success and also a little bit of kind of a hiccup, I guess you could say, along the way against Ritz a couple weeks ago.
Well, I mean, we've been saying this for a couple weeks now, and obviously the team has had its struggles. It's this chip on the shoulder for
Yeah.
Storm Surge, and eventually something has to give, right? We feel like we've been saying this a lot. There have been a lot of struggles, and there has to be just that one game to get you back on track. I know, obviously, you've lost, the playoffs for Maine right now, but who's to say, you can't play spoiler to a team that's also trying to get in, right? It's the mentality of, oh, if we can't get in, then neither can you, right? So we're just going to do
Exactly.
our best to play spoiler and just try to get our reps in to get better. Obviously we have Crossfire to look forward to, so let's just try and focus on that, because there are a lot of really good teams that we're going to have to play against, so we have to make sure that we're at our best. And games like these give you a good opportunity to work on, like you said, your executions, your defaults, your retakes, so many things you can work on from games like this, and that does provide a lot of value for teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way that ESEA League is set up, right, is it's really it feels like just a huge staircase, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you have your divisions. That's kind of what the point is, right? But when you're in this main and advanced kind of range, it feels like on any given night, you can beat any given team. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how they play it out. And like you said, you have to be sharpening your knife at all times. You have to be ready. And this is one of those games that'll get them prepped for Crossfire. But we head in for the knife round here on Ancient. It's Storm Surge versus Yogaball Frags. Let's gonna see here who is gonna be the one to start out. Basically, it picks who's gonna start out on CT side here for this map.
Just set the pace for the tone, I should say, for the round in general. We've said it before. Nothing like some ritualistic sacrifice to start out some Tuesday night Counter-Strike. It looks like we are going to be staying pat unless anything changes here, with Storm Surge still sticking to the CT side. And like you said, it's going to be the T's that really set the pace. So I'm really curious to see how aggressive the Yogaball Frags are going to come out here and how much pressure they're going to put on Storm Surge to force them into an uncomfortable situation early.
Yeah, I think this... Oh, here we go. Oh, a 4 mid pressure. I like this, actually. You know what? I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting a classic 2-1-2. They're going to set up 3 near Donut Cube, and Ramen going to get started really quickly here. Ramen, his first kill on the board for this season. Nice way to start. Ponzi going to try and get up close. Does find one onto Devin Jones and is going to get traded out by Hyperall, but Ramen once again is there to follow it up, and Desolation caps it off. The first round in the books for Storm Surge, despite what the HUD says.
And that's a great tone setter. We talked about how the T's were going to set it, but Storm Surge getting it done. And like you said, a bit of an unconventional start with this 4-man push down mid, but I don't think the Yogaball Frags were expecting that at all and definitely got caught off guard. And that leads to a Storm Surge pistol round win, and hopefully they can get this conversion as well.
Yeah, the force up is going to come in. The rifles on the board for Storm Surge. Cube is going to stick on that MP7. I'm okay with that buy, honestly. It's a really powerful weapon, especially against these T pistols. Allows you to just kind of run and gun, counter strafe those Glocks. Yogaball not going to put any pressure though early on a specific position. Of course, not able to buy really any SMGs to make some pressure here, but they're just going to sneak through cave and stick near B ramp there and try and find their way onto this site. Try and get a bomb plant.
Desolation going to be that first point of contact. Getting out near CT, and he's going to get one degged by Hyper, and some more casualties for the side of Storm Surge, but still no plant coming through for the Yogaball Frags. A little bit more work to do, and the reinforcements coming in now for Storm Surge. As Ramen going to try and retake that position, is going to take out Hyper. He's going to be able to sneak up, is cubed. So the conversion does come through. Some stout defense being shown, and Storm Surge take the conversion, and they get to save some of those rifles they bought into and invested as well.
Yeah, they get to save some rifles. And can we just quickly shout out Ramen starting 4-0? Coach is stepping up.
Coach
in a
buff
moment.
is real, man.
The coach buff is real. Punisher is unable to be here tonight, but he has to be proud of his coach, doing him a solid, starting the game off strong. Good to see that the Storm Surge does have depth if needed. Now we're going to see a little bit more of a kind of a default on the T side, pardon me, as the util is going to get tossed out, and Doyle's going to shack up in cave here. They've been smoked off of all their extremities. Elbow unable to be crossed through as Bob's Boosted is going to try and molly out the cubby. Just slowly kind of gathering information, these T's, and some shots exchanged in the cave. Back and forth they go. Desolation going to try and get through the spray. Over near rafters, unable to find anybody, but I kind of really like the way that Storm Surge is playing here. They're not allowing these T's to make any quick moves. There is the first move, though. There's that opener that you talked about, Evan. Howday onto Doyle for that first frag.
Yeah, that does seem to be, I don't want to say a mistake from Doyle, but just kind of falls off the spot. Maybe a little bit overconfident in his position in cave, and that does give the entry to the Yogaball Frags, and here they come with a quick strike. As now space in mid has been gained. This 4v2, a lot of options now for this team, down 2, and with the loss of Desolation, Kanzi, the last man left standing. It's going to be a tough call, but I think you might just have to get the save in here to at least try and save the rifle.
Yeah, I think the save is warranted, but only 20 HP, so even if he was to save and got hunted down, he wasn't going to be able to survive a traded fight, so Tyrant is going to take him out. That's Yogaball's first. Interesting to see how they kind of slowed down the pace there through Storm Surge for a little bit of a loop. I think their utility was well placed, and their positioning was alright, but they just weren't able to win those gunfights. Devin Jones with a nice 2K right there in Red Room to really open things up for Yogaball. Onto the light buy. The pistols, the FAMAS, and the scout coming in from Storm Surge, but the nade is going to be the first one to kind of do any damage here on Hyperall. Devin Jones and Desolation going to trade one out. That's a 4-4 kind of playing field here for both teams, and Yogaball is positioned here with the guns to win their second.
Desolation trying to run a gun and just gets burned for his effort. It's cubed. Trying to get something going, but have to assume that this is going to be a tie coming through because of that loss in the previous round. This eco just not really able to match the power of these rifles from the side of Yogaball Frags, although Ramen still fighting. Never mind. Getting taken out immediately. Bomb plant going to go down as well just before the round ends, so a little bit more cash in the T's pockets, but no fear right now. Storm Surge going to take a timeout as well. I don't think Coach liked what he saw after that last round.
I think it's unfortunate, like, you know, you can't really buy into it, but I think the fight was there for the Storm Surge boys. I think if Ramen actually hit that first shot on Typeral there, might have been a little bit different. I think Howday was a little low, and I want to say Devin Jones was tagged up, but not completely healthy. So you never know how it could go. But 2-2 now. Going to be basically nothing from the side of Storm Surge this round. It's going to, I would say, force up a third round here for Yogaball. So it's time to look ahead for Storm Surge. Two smokes to their... Oh, no, yeah. Cube is going to sell right as I say one smoke, two smokes. Doesn't really matter. He can hear me. The util is going to come out. This is a fast A push, and Storm Surge is completely aware of this.
They're going to have to be ready, and Hansi clearly wants to, he's going to get this backstep. Doyle not able to get behind him, and it's just a fast and furious A rush, and 3 members left standing for the Yogaball Frags. Desolation not even close to the site here. So like
there's a way back into this.
There's a way back in. Howdy, very low HP. If Desolation could sneak in through, maybe steal something. Steal this M4. That's 1. Ooh, Tyrant.
No.
Yeah, you can't go for the gamble there. You have to at least try and get something out of it. And I think that's best case scenario for Storm Surge. Is Desolation going to sneak his way out, save a rifle into the next round? But how fast were the Yogaball Frags at going through this A main? I mean, it was just blink and you miss it, and only 4 members down for Storm Surge. Just so quick.
I was really... Oh, man, that would have been kind of interesting if they had the damage numbers for those remaining 2 players. I think Dezo might have actually considered that even more. I mean, taking 1, I think there was a combined HP there of 50 between those two Yogaball players. So that would have changed things a little bit, but in the day and age where you can't see who you've damaged completely until the end of the round, Desolation gonna make the better choice and save. Hyper Owl is gonna find that opener onto Cube through the smoke. That's just a brutal way to start this round. Ramen with the op in hand is gonna get... Oh my goodness. Devin Jones.
That would have gone his way.
Oh my goodness. A beautiful double right there. A triple for Devin Jones. Just absolutely dominating. And Howday is gonna clean up Doyle. That's a frag, or yeah, a Yogaball Frag's 4th. And I was gonna say that's a clip that you can put in your frag dodge for the end of this season.
Devin Jones sounds like the name of a D1 NFL prospect, and he's playing like one right now. I mean, 7-3, matching his teammate Howdy, and he's gonna be upgrading to that op as well, and it's gonna be very dangerous. I know a T-sided op on Ancient. It's a little bit more rare, not a lot of opportunities to really make it work besides going through mid or maybe an A main push, but I think with the way the Yogaball Frags have been playing, I definitely am afraid of what he's able to do, especially with Storm Surge being relegated back to pistols once again. What a good start though. Q is able to find one, but a swift response from Yogaball. Still Storm Surge with the man advantage. Gonna be all linked up near this A ramp. Trying to take space out through middle as Kanzi Try to take space in Donut, but the bomb goes down regardless. You do have the man advantage, but with your less optimal weaponry, this retake definitely going to be a tall task, but we'll see how this backstab goes.
Yeah, they have to go quick. Tyrant not anywhere nearby. They have to swing together. They just have to do it. Kanzi finds one. Howdy with another. The op is down. Tyrant coming down through Donut is going to find one onto Ramen and Desolation. The unchecked Tyrant in Donut. Just able to find that diffuser so quickly. A great swing into A main right there. Kind of throws pressure in the face of the Yogaball frags, but a late lurk from Tyrant through Donut is going to cost them. Yogaball with their 5th. Storm Surge. Gotta find something here. They need to find it quick in this CT side.
Well, this is the best chance to do it. Almost full utility belts and rifles online for Storm Surge, and I thought they almost had it. I really liked their play with that execution, like you said, just pushing together, just overwhelming them with sheer numbers and almost going their way, but just not able to clear everything, which we have seen in the past. These problems still evident for Storm Surge. Desolation will be the first to fall. Kanzi try and get this elbow player. He does find it, so back in the man advantage is Storm Surge, but this execute is coming fast and furious onto A, but look at this defense bending but not breaking. Oh, Tyrant not able to get that spray transfer, but Ramen forced to retreat. In this 1v3, you have to play this smart. You can't get overzealous trying to find this final kill. We know what Tyrant's been doing. 7-2 definitely has potential to make you pay if you're not careful.
I mean, Cubed has his exit, right? He's holding Jaguar. He's holding A main. He knows that he has to leave through there or through CT. Kanzi is going to be the one to have to make this happen. He does. Tyrant takes down Ramen with the op, but Kanzi follows through, does grab the op for Ramen. Next round. Great work right there from the Storm Surge guys to just play the numbers advantage, play the percentages, right?
And that's the kind of round you need to get the momentum sort of back in your favor and just get the mental back as well. It's, you know, it's been tough. You get punched in the mouth to start your CT side. Just a round like that where you sort of dominate late and force them into an uncomfortable position is what you need to build that confidence back up. And look at this, just sending it right down mid once again. Try and put pressure on this A elbow player, but it's going to be the Yogaball frags that strike first.
It's a tough break right there for Doyle. Howdy with the op. He's going to find one. Desolation, though, and needs to find 2. He does. Bob's boosted with the trade. The MAC-10 known to be on site. These long-range gunfights, they can be kind of beneficial with these rifles in hand. Hyper Alley is going to get upgraded, though, to the AK. So now the retake is on for Storm Surge. You have to be careful, have to be aware that this player could most definitely be lurking in cave. Bob's boosted, finds one. Ramen with the shot through the cave. Another shot onto Hyper Al. The last one, Tyrant in the back sight. Can he find it? Cubed. He cannot. Tyrant once again finds a headshot. And the 6th round for Yogaball frags. A retake that went so well. A double kill for Ramen with the op. But no 4th round for Storm Surge.
That's just all Tyrant just balling out right there. I mean, like you said, it was the perfect retake, everything done right. I mean, Ramen good for 2 with the op there. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more, but that's just a skill diff, unfortunately, for the Yogaball frags. We talked about it in the pre-show. We mentioned that this Tyrant guy, he's definitely one to watch, and he's proving it right now. Him and Howday have been putting on a show early, and don't forget about Hyper Al as well. He's going to get things going to start. Already, Yogaball frags getting things done on this B site. Doyle not good to find that pick either, so that site going to be wide open as the K player gets taken out as well.
Devin Jones just taking heads here in round number 10. All you can do is sit back and wait for this round to end. Ramen thinks there's somebody in the red room, but these T's, they're just all over this B site here. Bomb is gonna go down. There's nothing they can do. $0 for Ramen, 200 for Cube. There's just no way back into this 2v5 unwinnable situation here for Storm Surge, a 7th on the board for Yogaball.
The only thing you could really hope for is to maybe find some exits, but the Yogaball Frags going to be a little more... Okay, maybe not as... Find Tyrant and the Opera as well, so all of a sudden, I think Ramen might be able to... Oh, no, he's not going to be able to. He doesn't have a kit, unfortunately, not able to purchase it. If he did, though, it would have been an absolutely insane comeback. Ramen does fall regardless, so Cube, the only man left standing, but at least it's a little bit more cash in the pocket of Storm Surge coming up in this next round. You can at least buy into it somewhat. Not as dire as what it would have been before, but close but no cigar is the name of the game so far. 7-3 as we head into round 11.
Man, it's tough seeing it from a viewer perspective, right? You see nobody's on site there. If you had a kit, I would be just screaming. I would be just like, go for the ninja! Go for the ninja, man! No one's near site. But no kit, no time. Unfortunate there for Storm Surge. Man, Yogaball has just come out and they have shot just hard, man. They have just taken heads, taken peaks whenever they feel like it. But it's not over. We have seen this before, right? Last week, 7-3 down, overtime in the cards. Definitely something to be said here for Storm Surge.
We've said it so many times, you know, in these scenarios. Best case you're looking for, and on a 7-5 half, get the pistol in your T side, get the conversion, you're tied already. That's sort of the mentality you have to have here. Obviously, you need to try and shut Yogaball Frags down in order to try and stay within this 3-2 round deficit. But like you said, this Yogaball Frags team, they have really, really come out firing, and this is sort of what we were talking about, a team that's hungry and one that's fighting for their chance to get into main playoffs, and they're showing this hunger, and not a good start to this round. Devin Jones also contributing a double before getting traded out, but damage has already been done. Ramen and Cubed in the 2v4.
Flash is going to come in. Ramen is good for 2, though. Up near Jaguar, it's a 2v1. He knows 100% that they are just going to go for this A plant. Tyrant going to get the bomb down. Looks to be an unfortunate 8th for Storm Surge, unless the coach can pull one out of his hat here.
No, he does have a kit this time.
He does have a kit this time. You're right. I was going to mention that. The opposite play, he has a kit. So he wants to do something absolutely insane. If Tyrant leaves out of A main, he has a chance. But however, he's tucked into that position, and Tyrant's just going to make the clear himself. Headshot onto Ramen. 8th round for Yogaball. Final round of the half.
If this doesn't go the way of Storm Surge, this is going to get very, very dicey as we swap over to the other side. I mean, you talk about a team that has just been so aggressive on their T side, and it makes me very scared to see what their CT side of Ancient's going to look like if this is what we're going to see. And look at this, another quick run over to this ramp, but all these are going to slow him down a little bit. Gonna be tired trying to hold this elbow position. Storm Surge giving them a little bit of space to work with in mid, as you only have one in the immediate area who's going to back off and give some help over to the B side, where we see Doyle try to get activated before getting traded out by Bob's Boosted. Not good for the second, but this defense for Storm Surge holding for now. This push going to have to be delayed.
Yeah, this bomb's back in T spawn, so it does give Yogaball some time here to rethink their strategy, rethink what site they might want to hit. Kanzi's going to go take a quick peek over onto the A site. Make sure everything's okay. Ramen. 13-9 for the coach so far. Really good start for him on an individual level. Of course, doesn't matter how good the individual is if you're gonna lose the game. Tyrant and Hyper out. Gonna take this through the mid. Time is not in their favor though. They are going to need to make a decision. It's gonna have to come quick, Kanzi. It's all on you, my good friend. You have to try and make something happen. And Tyrant with a complete 180. I have no idea how he hit that shot, honestly. And now, Ramen.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
speaking of shot.
Beautiful headshot himself. All up to him. In the 1v1 against Tyrant. Not able to find it. Just a brutal way to end the half for Storm Surge, down 9-3. But, like we said, Evan, this team has been resilient all season long. They have shown some fight. They just need to make it happen here. They need to find that momentum. And it starts here on this pistol round.
Yeah, it has to start here. I mean, you can't afford to let them go to double digits and then get the conversion after that. I mean, we needed a comeback a couple rounds ago, and we've seen flashes, right? I don't think this has been a total wash. I think there have been a lot of positive things that you can say about some of these CT rounds for Storm Surge. It's just, unfortunately, it just really comes down to the players on the other team have just been that much better. I mean, you said it in the last one, that 180 shot that Tyrant hits. It's like, you know, there are only so few players that can really do that in a situation like that, and unfortunately, they're all on the other side of the server. Speaking of decent players, Ramen, who has been very strong for Storm Surge, gets this bomb down onto the A site. So Storm Surge with a chance to try and fight their way back in. Devin Jones, be the one on the other side of the smoke, and
There we go.
will be deleted by the coach. And more picks coming through from the side of Storm Surge as we trade out shots in Donut. All up to Bob's Boosted to maybe get this defuse. We'll take a shot in the back, and Kanzi will end it. Storm Surge finally stop the bleeding and get back onto the board.
That's the exact type of round that they needed right there. Buy up into some AKs now. Force this one onto a site of your choosing. You know that Yogaball is going to have a tough time bringing anything of real value into this round. Close the gap as much as you can early on. Only a frag nade in the hand of Howday. They need to find something. They need to find something quick. The split is going to be there. The nade used up by Howday early on, so can't deny any sort of plant later on in the round. Pistol's getting aggressive in the mid. Oh, nice little tap there onto Howday. Not really expecting that one. Desolation, meanwhile, completely clearing out the A site. They have to retreat. They have to get out of here. Bob's Boosted finds one back onto Desolation. Just like that, though, Yogaball re-clearing this A site now. Cubed with the Mac 10. It's up to him to re-clear this. Meanwhile, another T moving through the mid. A lot of low Yogaball players here. It should be one lined up for Storm Surge.
So let's make sure you can find at least one or two of these players in Donut. Cube will find the first and the second. And that's the round for Storm Surge. They do convert this bomb plant down quick. And that's what you said. That's, you just need more rounds like that. String them together in a row. We've seen what this team can do when faced with adversity. I mean, you have some fans right now. We have Punisher in chat cheering on his team, so I think that's really all the buff you need to get through it, and gonna get a little more time to think about it as Storm Surge take their second of the game.
I think they got this. I think this is a sixth round teed up. I mean, Tyrant and Bob's Boosted, they have the MP9s. Like you mentioned early on in Storm Surge's CT half, or CT side, pardon me. Those are some strong weapons in the hands of the CTs, but besides that, really light util on the side of Yogaball Frags, and I really like the way that Storm Surge has kind of played these first two T rounds. They aren't afraid to take the duels. They aren't afraid to swing together, to make the sacrifice play. It's important that you kind of have that mentality as a team, right? Even if I die, I have to have trust in my guys to trade us out. so far on this T side, it's been that way for Storm Surge. A little bit more of a classic setup here. The cave fight, though, that's going to be the first one to take place. Hyperall and Devin Jones, pardon me, with a double kill of their own. And just like that, Ramen left to his lonesome here. The 1v5. Can the coach make a miracle happen? 17 and 10. It's not possible. Starts with 1. There it is, the molly. Why don't you come in? Not gonna force Hyper out of that position. Actually, oh, is he on the other side of that wall? No, he's not. No, he's not. Okay, I thought he was on the B side there. Get a little tripped up on this radar sometimes, but Ramen is gonna be able to sneak out onto this B site. Even if he doesn't have the bomb, they're just gonna turtle up and look to secure a 10th here.
And if you're Ramen, I mean, your only goal right now is to just try and find as many picks as you can, and that job is over sooner than you would think, as the Yogaball Frags do hit double digits and kind of back to their ways of old, where they were just dominating early and getting aggressive, and you get 4 picks right off the rip like that. It really doesn't get any easier for a CT side. Now this econ for Storm Surge getting dangerously low. I mean, you're down 5. You already hit double digits. Desperation definitely on the menu right now. Something needs to come through. You need to find some way, and that's a good start as Doyle gets things going for Storm Surge with this first one. Bob's defending on the side, and good for 1, but Coach is going to trade it out, and more shots going through. Storm Surge still with the man advantage, though. Do have Tyrant waiting in the wings, but Cube with a big play to take him down. Hyper out, the only one left.
See what I mean by laying your life on the line for your teammates. That bomb goes down, and Cube is ready to shoot that CT, trying to disrupt it. Ramen now, he has to be the one to bait. Cube, 100 HP. Cannot get taken out by this AK in 1 tap. Hyper though, he isn't even gonna consider this. With the kit in his hand and a smoke, not even gonna bother. It's just gonna try and go for the exits. Wrap around towards A main. Ramen gonna try and get out of here with Cubed. Actually, don't know if he makes this, Evan. But I was gonna say, I think he needs to leave. A couple seconds earlier. Oh, hello, hello. Mr. CT.
Just chilling.
Hey.
Hey, but Storm Surge will take that. You know, you force a save, and I think the only reason that happens is because you got guys like Tyrant and Devin Jones who are so low, and you're able to at least buy a rifle for somebody as extra. Hyperel just going to invest in some utility, going to save that AK, and Yogaball Frags in a better situation than what we saw previously. Another big round coming through for both sides. Full rifles across the board for each player, except Bob's boosted. He's going to be taking this MP9, but he's in this close angle here, so he can do a lot of damage with it if he doesn't go unchecked here.
Flash. Gonna bait him out, Doyle. Nice tap to secure the kill. Spray coming in through Howday. Konze tries to find one in the corner. Unable to. Tyrant as well through the smoke onto Ramen. Like this lurk, though, from Doyle. Doesn't completely give away his position in this fight here against... Or sorry, Desolation, pardon me. Onto Devin Jones, and Cubed finds one as well onto Howdy, and just like that... Man, every time I say one, I want to say there's an advantage. It just gets brought to a 2v2, man. It's that cast curse, man.
I'm telling you, it's lethal.
It's lethal.
But this also might be very lethal for the side of Storm Surge. This lurk coming through from Tyrant. Not going to go through that smoke. Going to try and move through Temple. Hyper, good for 1 as well. So now this looking a little scary for the side of Storm Surge. Got Doyle nestled into a corner here. Definitely not impossible with his position. He doesn't get cleared either. Well, gonna have to move quick, though. Oh, he takes out the grenade. Oh, that's the absolute worst time for that to happen. I mean, it had to have been quick anyway. I mean, you had the kit on the side of Yogaball Frags, but even a spray and pray, you at least had a chance. But not meant to be as the retake comes through for Yogaball Frags, and they find themselves back on the board once again.
Oh, man. Such an unfortunate timing right there with the grenade. I think if Doyle caught that CT walking out of that smoke, there was a world where he did kill that diffuser, pardon me. This is just going to be a full rush. A site is Storm Surge's for the taking. Bob's boosted is going to have to check it out. MP9 in his hands. Can he find this? Kanzi, no. Just an unfortunate sequence of events right there. Devin Jones going to find 2 as well. Howday, another one onto Desolation. Now it's left to Doyle again on this A site. Can he find redemption? Into the corner, into the smoke he goes. CT surrounding him. Unable to find it. The 12th round goes in favor of the Yogaball Frags. Hyper out, gets the defuse, and now Storm Surge facing the barrel of a 13-6 defeat on Ancient.
Definitely not over yet, but with the way the Yogaball Frags play that, you can tell they're just playing with confidence, and it all starts with Tyrant just sort of being the point guard for this team, and the retakes have been so good for this side, too. I mean, Storm Surge, they did everything right. Had an aggressive take onto A. It's been their site. It's been working somewhat, and just not able to slow down these Yogaball Frag players. Curious to see how aggressive Storm Surge is going to get now when faced with this match point. It's all going to be on this mid-rush, but they're going to come out on the other side of it. Kanzi and Cube going to find some big picks. And the aggression paying off as some rifles going to be stolen as well. But Hyper Owl working in Cheetah.
This is just such a dangerous position here for Hyper Owl. Desolation needs to bait him in, needs to find one. Kanzi, good for the trade. Leaves the B site completely open for the taking if they just recognize that the only player here was Hyper Owl. Can drop that smoke, get across onto the site, find a way into this. Ramen, a beautiful peek onto Tyrant, and now Howday has the chance to make something happen. Ring around the Rosie onto the pillar. Kanzi finds the headshot, and the 7th round goes for Storm Surge. They aren't done just yet.
Not over yet, like you said. Just really great resilience being shown. Look at Ramen, man. He's making his debut on True North Studios and absolutely putting on a show for us. 22-14 and single-handedly keeping his team and trying to rally the troops to get back into this one. I mean, this is another excellent chance to start the comeback. I mean, you have to.
You have to.
Eco coming through from the Yogaball Frags. You do have some deagles. 1 frag grenade as well. And they're just taking their time right now. They know they're in an advantageous position, but they don't want to make any foolish moves to let this one slip through their fingers.
Tried to be cheeky. Yogaball, they tried to send the guy through A main, didn't work, and through the smoke onto that elbow position. Try and make something happen. You kind of have to do that with these pistols, right? You just have to catch a T off of,
it's the only way,
their back
really.
foot. It's the only way. 2 players coming out of Jaguar. 1 walking into Donut. It's Bob's boosted. Is going to get gunned down by Doyle. Looks like the 8th round is here for Storm Surge. Tyrant and Hyper Owl, they're just discussing here. Buddy, I don't know if I want to go for this. I don't think we should even try and get these exits because these rifles are going to rip our heads off here.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. Hyper Owl caught a tough spot there. This Cube going to finish him up. It looks like Tyrant's going to at least be able to escape. He's just going to stick himself in a corner here. He might get caught out by Doyle. Or goes the other way around depending on this timing.
Oh,
that's
okay.
Actually, Tyrant who's going to find 1, but not really going to matter that much as he gets taken out right after. I guess it's a little more cash for the side of Yogaball. But still not going to be a completely healthy buy. Another timeout coming through from Storm Surge. And I think this is another good call. I mean, we've seen what's happened after some timeouts. This is their last timeout as well. So I think coach is just telling the team, it's like, look, we've been in this situation before. We 12-8, literally last week, able to find those 4 rounds, and now we're in another situation where we need to do it again, and let's just go out and take it.
And their T side has just been so much better compared to their CT side, right?
Yeah.
They know they have what it takes to break through onto these sites, take some of these rounds. You just need 4 more in a row. It seems like such a tall task, but if you win this one here, you really set these CTs back in terms of economy. And you just kind of have to just pray that you don't do something silly here and make a mistake that you'll regret. First fight going down in A main, unable to really get anything going. Desolation and Howday just going to trade off shots, but got to be aggressive, but also be smart at the same time if you're Storm Surge in this situation.
Well, they're going to be hunting for a frag here as bomb is going to be picked up eventually, but just left in T spawn, but these 3 players stacked up in elbow. Try and find a way through, but again, it's patience being shown on both sides. I mean, I think Yogaball is in a similar situation where they can't afford to make a mistake either because you don't want to start letting it slip because the econ is definitely in a bit of a precarious situation. A loss here definitely makes things a little bit more interesting as we get down the stretch.
Uh-oh.
Here comes some first contact. Kanzi in red room. He's going to find Howday. So that's what Storm Surge needs, that first entry pick. And that's a big player down as well for the Yogaball Frags.
Smoke's going to go down. Cube is going to get this plant in. Doyle tuck himself in behind this box. A really interesting situation here for Storm Surge. Fonzie and Desolation going to line 2 up. The headshots coming in. Hyperal going to find one onto Cubed. A 2v4 retake is needed for these CTs. Already on site. Tyrant finds one through the smoke onto Doyle. Ramen, though, good for 1 onto Hyperal. And the flick onto Tyrant. Ramen, you are a beast, an animal. To find 2 right there. Bring it up to 24 total. Bring it up to 3 down. 12-9 for Yogaball. Storm Surge not done yet.
Slowly coming back. I mean, again, we said this is what happened on Inferno last time. Just able to claw their way back ever so slowly. And another perfect opportunity, at least to hit double digits as another eco being forced from the side of Yogaball Frags. But again, despite that, you just can't afford to get complacent. Just take it 1 round at a time. You don't want to afford any foolish mistakes.
Oh,
already, Devin Jones will be eating some bullets as the AKs of the elbow players going to find some connection. See what the Yogaball Frags elect to do here. How much space are they going to let Storm Surge take? Devin Jones, he's getting really frisky now. He gets some intel at least. Not able to get out though, as Doyle is good for the double.
Okay, Doyle. Okay, Doyle, I know it's pistols, but to spray transfer like that, that's not something you can just do on a regular basis. That comes with time. That comes with dedication. These T's are gonna flood out onto this A site. Kanzi takes the head off of Bob's boosted. Howday chilling in Donut. Desolation is going to swing onto him. Going to find that one as well. Tyrant now left into the 1v5. Oh my goodness, the nade perfectly placed. Just has to sit there and watch. Now he's found out. 10 on the board for Storm Surge. The drums are beating. Yogaball has to be sweating. Both of these teams trying to make it 2 OTs in a row. Tyrant, nice tap though. That lethal 5-7, Evan, you and I have talked about it all season long. The most underrated pistol in the game.
It's true.
Is good for 1.
Almost a flawless for Storm Surge, getting everybody on the side of Yogaball Frags, including even the poor janitor, it seems. Just everybody going down. And Tyrant's going to be good for at least 1 more before the round ends. So a little bit more cash, and Tyrant's going to invest that in the AK. But just a confidence booster for Storm Surge. You know, you're only down 2 now. Getting your best player. He's got the op in hand now. Just let him cook. It's only going to be... Like, it's not anymore. You do have 4 rifles on deck for the Yogaball Frag, so they get a chance to stop this comeback. Because Storm Surge, a late bloomer, you could say, but better late than never in this case. But it's going to be the Yogaball Frags who strike first and second as well. Two big picks coming through as Cube and Doyle are down for the count.
There's no way Tyron is finding value with this AK that was completely gifted to him by that bomb explosion. That is actually insane. Last round's bomb explosion knocks this AK into his hands. Now he rips the head off of one of Storm Surge's players. Brings them into an awkward 4v3. They really love this A site. They have to be aware. Ramen, though, good for another one. Coach, what do you got for me here? Molly onto site. The nade also going in. Bombs boosted. He's going to get found out by Desolation with just the flick. The headshot. We've seen it multiple times. It's there. 4 bombs boosted. Brought down so low. Hyper Al, pardon me, finds one onto Ramen and Kanzi. The round of his life needed right here, right now. Can he find it? The smoke is his ally in this case. Does find one onto Tyrant. Oh, pardon me, Hyper Al tries to find Tyrant. Can't.
No.
Tries to run. The Glock in his hand. Unfortunate for Storm Surge. One more bullet would have done it. A tough way to end that one. But you have to be proud of how you came back. I mean,
It was a good try.
it was
That was
really,
a
really good.
try.
Really, really entertaining. A tough one to go out on, but man, what an exciting match.
Yeah, I think that's really all I can say. Another exciting match and some positives to take away as well. Fighting to the very end, this team showing a lot of resilience, not giving up at all, still trying to get back into the game when the going gets tough, and that is admirable, right? These are admirable qualities, you want for a team, and obviously this main season hasn't gone the way you've wanted, but like what Desolation was saying in, this interview we did a while ago, if this is sort of the start of a building process, you just have to, stay consistent and try and find success in moments like these, right? And unfortunately, not able to get it done, but like we said, a lot of positives being shown, a lot of fight, and Ramen at least putting on a good show for us at the very end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, again, down 7-3, 8-3, I think, at one point. Around there.
I thought it was 9-3. I thought it was
9-3 at half.
Yeah.
I mean, bringing it that close. I mean, if Kanzi takes that kill there, you basically force overtime. And you never know at that point whose game it is. So to bring it back, to bring it so close, have to be at least proud of yourself for that. I mean, the T half was much, much better than kind of what we've seen so far out of Storm Surge this season. But yeah, I mean, Evan, it's kind of it for us tonight. I mean, not a ton of games left here in season 56 of the ESEA League. So we're going to cherish these while they come, buddy. This was a great one.
It's always a great one when Storm Surge gets into the server, and we'll at least be back, dear viewer. We have another game set for Thursday this week, so please stay tuned for that. Like we said, the main season is coming to a close, but that doesn't mean that we're slowing down. We'll play out the rest of these games, and once Storm Surge get into Crossfire Season 4, we will be, hopefully, doing coverage on their journey through the group stage. So if you like what you see here, please stay tuned for that, and I like what I see from the crew tonight. Thank you, Phaser, Hayden, for getting on the cast tonight.
Course,
and
man.
we got Carl Varsio Godin on the sticks tonight in the director's chair, as always. Getting it done, Adrian Malyers on the free cam. How many times can we say that? You St. Clair esports enjoyers. That's twice now.
Twice
for
now.
Adrian.
Come on, Adrian.
I liked what I saw, Adrian. Again, just like Storm Surge, just like this, just
That's
keep
always
getting those reps in. I'm trying to think who else we got. We got Miguel Hayes, our consistent observer. I think that's it. We didn't have a replay off tonight, but that's okay. We got a good show done with the crew we had here, and like we said, we will be back on Thursday for more streams, and we want to thank our sponsors who will also be joining us on Thursday. We want to thank Storm Surge for giving us a chance to cover their team throughout this main season. We want to shout out Counterstrat again for all the intel provided for our map segments. Very, very useful tool. Please go check them out if you want to up your game in your next face and match. And thank you to Third Sight as well for partnering with us and highlighting Canadian CS talent and communities. We're so glad that they have put a spotlight on the little project that we're doing, and we're hoping that we can have a very fruitful partnership in the future. But with that being said, that does do it for us this evening. Dear viewer, you are the last thank you that I will give tonight. And please join us again on Thursday for more Storm Surge action. But until then, have a good evening.
Blood orange morning, we hardly slept. Polished chrome, tinted glass, the way you looked then. We slept with our heads together, we had the same dream. Cityscape and the chips door piece. Hit the roof of the car, driving through the yellow light. Golden glow reflecting your smile in the night. I'll let your red shotgun as the sun is fading. Oh, we'll get out of here, baby. Out on the lakeside, where we stopped to rest, 1,000 miles from home, but we never felt this close. We'll start a new life in a new kind of light, where the water's never murky and the sky is clear. We slept with our heads together, we had the same dream. New town in the window of a train.